Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we're going to be looking at the life cycle of a star. Everything starts off as a nebula. This is a giant cloud of hydrogen gas and dust, which is what 15% of space is made up of. Gravity within it pulls together the particles, increasing its density, and when the density increases, there's more collisions within the particles, and this increases its temperature. This then goes on to become a protostar. In a protostar, gravity pulls together the particles even closer, increasing their density, and therefore there are even more collisions, which raises the temperature even more. The protostar then goes on to become a main sequence star, which is the stars that we see today in the night sky. Stars are extremely stable, and they're in equilibrium because of the abundant amount of fuel that they have in them. The hydrogen nuclei fuse to form helium nuclei in a process called nuclear fusion within the stars, which provide it with energy, and it releases heat and light that we see, making stars extremely hot and luminous. Now, the inward force of gravity and the outward force of nuclear fusion is what keep the star together and stable. Now, if the star is the same size as the Sun, then it will turn into a red giant. The red giant is a star that has exhausted in the supply of hydrogen, which is a star's main fuel. Its core has begun a process called thermonuclear fusion, which is the same as nuclear fusion, but thermonuclear fusion requires much more energy to fuse the hydrogen nuclei and also releases much more heat and light off as well, which makes the red giant extremely luminous. Then it becomes a planetary nebula, which is what happens when the red giant releases excess gas and dust. It's a pre-phase for it to turn into a white dwarf, which is hot, light, and much smaller. And then it will eventually become a black dwarf, which is colder, darker because all of the heat and light is emitted, and slowly but surely it will disappear into nothing. So the life of a star that's similar to the size of the Sun almost has a cyclical structure as its life cycle. It starts off as a nebula and also ends as gas and dust. After the main sequence star, if the star was bigger than our Sun, then it will form into a red supergiant. Red supergiants have the largest radius of all known stars, and they shine the brightest out of all of them. After the red supergiant comes a supernova, which is a giant explosion of stellar and luminous objects. The remnants of a large star die during a supernova. After the supernova, two things can form: either A neutron star, which is what is formed when a massive star runs out of fuel and collapses completely, or a black hole can form. In the black hole, gravity is so strong it engulfs in everything and all the particles that pass by, even light. Thank you guys so much for watching this